So this lesson is about matrix multiplication. Here I have two matrices, and I used letters to represent the entries. That way it's easier to understand the algorithm for multiplication. So what happens here is you multiply the row by the column. In other words, it's going to be A times C, then plus B times D. So what are the dimensions here? This first matrix is one row by two columns, so it's 1 by 2. The second matrix is two rows by one column, so it's 2 by 1. The answer for the multiplication here is 1 by 1. So with this algorithm that's used for multiplying matrices, there's a certain rule you have to have for the dimensions. The number of columns in the first matrix has to equal the number of rows in the second matrix. And the dimensions for your answer are these other numbers out here. So it's the number of rows in the first matrix, the number of columns in the second matrix. That's why you have a 1 by 1 here. Let's try an example with numbers. Okay, first of all, what are the dimensions? This one is 2 rows by 2 columns. This one is 2 rows by 1 columns. So you can multiply these. So these numbers are the same. And the answer is going to be a 2 by 1. I'm making this a little wider so I can write out the actual calculation here. So multiply this one by this one, and that's going to be a 1. Multiply the 4 times the 3, that's a 12, so plus 12. That's going to be the first entry in the matrix. The second entry is going to be 0 times 1, or 0, plus negative 1 times 3, which is negative 3, so minus 3. So it's going to be equal to 13, negative 3. And the results here are a 2 by 1 matrix. So that's matrix multiplication in a nutshell. That's the big picture of this lesson.